Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Can't wait to get started here today on episode 3158 of the Cabral Concept, the weekend edition of the show that we affectionately refer to as the Cabral HouseCalls, where it's almost like if I was living in the early 1900s and I was to actually make a house call, answer your questions, kind of step into your home and just see what you have going on and if I can be of assistance in any way. So that's really what this is all about. This is why I got into this amazing field in the first place, is to really teach. That's always been my goal. It's always been my objective. It's what I plan on doing for the rest of my life, is to teach. If I could only do one thing, it is to teach. It's why I love IHP so much. If you've never heard of IHP, it's integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We teach people to become the health coach in their home, open up their own practice if they want, even if it's part-time, helping people, turning their passion into a real career, but at the very least, teaching you to heal yourself and heal others. So that's integrativehealthpractitioner.org. I love it. It's amazing. And of course, we do our live conference every year. You don't have to be an IHP to attend, but that's at rhsevent.com. Would love to see you there this year, happening in just about a month or so. So hopefully we can see you there. All right, but every weekend we answer 5 or 6 questions a day. Let's get into it. I just opened the document for my team, episode 3158, if you want to follow along with the questions. First one is from Amy. Amy says, "Hi, Dr. Brawl. Recently I was eating healthy ice cream and noticed an ingredient I'm unfamiliar with, EPG. It's listed as a modified plant-based oil, and upon a bit of research, I got the feeling this is another sneaky fat substitute that we might need to be aware of. Do you have any thoughts on this? Many thanks for everything you do in the health space." Amy, appreciate you. Thank you for writing in. Yeah, it's funny because I don't know, the world works in mysterious ways, and I'm not here to try to figure it all out. I used to try. It just kind of drives you crazy after a while because we can't know all that is. But I actually have a show coming out about this next week. Strange, but true. So again, I don't read any of your questions ahead of time. I open them up. I love just the newness, the freshness of getting the question as if we were to bump into each other and and answering that based on my experience. So I will be doing a whole show on this next week, and I have all of the research. So the research dates back to at least 2014 that I know about it. So it's over 10 years, and it was done in rats. It was done in pigs. It was done in rabbits, and there was an 8-week study in humans. Now, there may have been a longer one, but not one that I've seen. And so I share with you all of the different research studies. And what I found is, yes, the dosages were sometimes high and they were used often, is that there seems to be an issue with this product and fat-soluble vitamins. So it seems to lower your vitamin D levels and sometimes your vitamin A and your vitamin E. Not in all, but seems to be sometimes. So what I have to say about this is that I don't know if it's going to change, but at least for now, so for EPG, for those that don't know, it's esterified propoxylated glycerol. Again, it just rolls right off the tongue. But this is a man-made fat derived from rapeseed oil, and it can be, I haven't seen it GMO, but maybe it will change in the future. Even though it's non-GMO, I don't think that this is a health food. Now, what it's doing though, is it's removing a lot of these calories. Because typically with ice cream, I think you said ice cream, yes. So ice cream, a serving of ice cream, I don't know what an exact serving would equate to, but it's probably like a half a cup or so. And in that half a cup, there might be 10, 12, maybe even 20 grams of fat, often an unhealthy form of saturated fat. So what this is doing is, if you think about it, the majority of calories from ice cream are coming from fat. And so this is just wiping out a lot of those calories without having to use something like skim milk or something like that. And it's using this it's not the same, so I'm not comparing the two, but there used to be another substitute called like Olestra, and it gave people loose stools and all sorts of issues. This has some of that, but not to that degree. So I'm going to talk about this in depth on my show next week, but this is not a product that I recommend to use a lot. Every once in a while, maybe, but I'll give you my full thought on next week's show, okay? All right, Jennifer's up next. Thank you all for your help and knowledge. Is there a root cause or a way to heal an overactive bladder and loss of bladder control? Okay, so thank you, Jennifer, for writing in. So the answer is yes, there's always an answer. However, if the bladder was affected by surgery, then sometimes a surgically altered bladder may not be able to be healed naturally. It may be able to be healed. Unfortunately, it would have to be done maybe by surgery because of something that was done improperly. But a bladder that has not been affected by surgery, right? Man or woman, of course, I'm just using the term. It should be able to be healed. And that's because an overactive bladder can have to do with E. coli overgrowth, yeast, bacterial overgrowth in general, inflammation of the bladder, obviously some urinary tract-based issues, a food sensitivity, or a supplement herb sensitivity as well. Part of it can do with a prolapse of the bladder or other organs within the body, and oftentimes pelvic floor therapy or other physical therapy and strength training can actually help with this as well. So I gave you a whole lot of things to look at inside of that. So that's what I would do. We often have people do a CBO protocol or at least a 7-day detox. And if it starts to get better, we say, oh, there's probably a food sensitivity, or there might be a supplement sensitivity or something like that. So we start to look at it, right? Like in that way. And if it doesn't, like if nothing gets better, and a big thing is like, let's say you do a day fast. And if it's not better even on the fasting day or the second fasting day, if you do a 2-day fast, well, most likely we're looking at something very different than just a food or supplement sensitivity. All right, Diego's up next. Does the 21-day detox do away with heavy metals in our body? If not, what exactly will it remove? Okay, so first things first, best thing you can do is go to stevencabral.com/courses. Click on the detox course. That one is completely free. It's a $297 course, technically $397 course, but we offer $100 off. And that one's completely free. So please do sign up for that. It's, I believe, a great education in what actually is a functional medicine detox, because it's not a cleanse, it's not green juices, it's not teas, it's an actual functional medicine detox. I got my buddy Walter right here because I was just doing a teaching video that it helps this huge organ right here on the right side of your rib cage, if you're watching on video, called your liver, to process microplastics, estrogens, heavy metals, things faster from your body. Is it a specific heavy metal detox? No. Does it have specific herbs and other items to be able to help bind up and eliminate them? Yes. But a heavy metal detox is called the heavy metal detox at stevencabral.com/shop. So the detox is at stevencabral.com/detox. You want to do that to open up liver and kidney drainage pathways before you do a parasite, CBO, or heavy metal or mold-based detox, because it helps decrease the total body burden. Diego, this will also help if you read my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. It's now free. You just pay shipping. Go to stevencabral.com/free book. My goal is to get that book to everybody worldwide. We charge, it's like $7.95 for shipping. It costs like $10.32 to ship it out, truthfully. The book costs a little over $7 to print. We pay for that. My goal is to get that information in the hands of everyone. What they do with it is up to them, but I can say I'm doing my part, right? For my why for why I'm here. Okay, Yvonne is up next. Yvonne says, salt air UV. Ultrasonic air salinizer. I love being in salt air. My skin loves it. Psoriasis basically disappears in this environment, and better for my breathing rather than the dry environment I live in. Will this product help, or would it be harmful indoors, since typically salt air, although good for us, is harmful to our homes and cars due to corrosion, etc.? All right, this is a great question. So, well, you're right on both accounts. The first one is this: salt air oxidizes, also known as corrodes, the environment, especially metals. It's oxidative. It literally, so I have a Jeep Wrangler in Maine that I love to drive. And after just 2 years of being up there, the salt air eating through the fenders, eating through the bottom of the truck, like it's unbelievable. And the salt air is corrosive. It really is. My grill thermometer, I left it in my garage. The garage is still closed, but it's more permeable to the salt air. corroded where the battery touches it. Like it's just, salt is corrosive. So it's a good question to be asking. Now, what you're referring to is basically like a humidifier, but with rock salt that then enters the air. And salt, though, also contains more negative ions that can be very helpful. So there are degrees to this, meaning that people go into a salt room, like at a spa, and they feel great. And it really does work, right? It's great. Too much of something, not good. So it's like Ayurvedic medicine says, if you need it, it's beneficial, and you only want to use as much as needed. So this salinizer, it's not going to do the whole house, right? So it's going to be like, you're going to use it for a period of time, get the benefits. How much do you need it? Do you need it every day? I think you'll find the specific benefit. You want to use, I look at this as almost like, well, I look at it like nutritional supplements or anything else. Lowest possible dose to get the desired effect. Like for omega-3s, lowest possible dose is typically 2 grams a day to get the desired effect, which is like decreasing cardiovascular risk by 90%. I think that's pretty unbelievable. 2 grams a day is all it takes. Might you need 3? Yeah, you might need 3 grams. You don't need 10. That's for sure, right? So that's how I recommend it, Yvonne. But again, I can't give you any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or diagnosis. All right. Melissa is up next. Melissa says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I recently took your food sensitivity test and my coaching call, but left with a couple of questions still. I had a moderate sensitivity to egg whites and Brazil nuts and low sensitivity to pineapples and almonds. I was having eggs, almonds, and Brazil nuts almost every day before the last test. The reason I took this test is because my IgG levels have been very low since 2019. Could have been always been low, but this is when I first tested. The coach said she couldn't tell me if my low IgG could be related to these sensitivities. I was hoping you could expand on this and provide some more insight into why this may or may not be correlated. Since they're both IgG related, I was hoping for a connection to maybe figure out why I have low levels. Okay, yeah, happy to help with this. So I answer, again, this is just coincidence. I don't look at any of these questions until I'm about to sit down for the podcast, or no, actually until I sit down for the show. My team does a great job of putting this all together in a document. So I did a show. It was last week. I think it was episode 3155, but you can always see previous shows at stephencabral.com/podcast. So I did a show on the frequently asked questions of the food sensitivity test, food allergies versus sensitivities. What if I'm eating these foods? Will they show up more? So I answer all of these questions, but did I answer yours? Let's see. You typically have low IgG. Okay, so your food sensitivities could be causing, if you've had them for years and you've been eating these foods for years, could be part of that filling up of the rain barrel, right? Your rain barrel, if you've read the rain barrel effect. But it's probably not the only thing. So I wouldn't say that. Now, if you may have candida overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, maybe parasites, maybe H. pylori. Those are far more prevalent reasons for causing a lowering of the immune system over time, or a dysfunction of the immune system, I should say. Because the immune system typically goes low in some areas, but it's exaggerated in others, like autoimmune issues, right? So, like, for example, I'm more Th2 dominant. So being more Th2 dominant, I'm more sensitive to allergies and asthma, chemical sensitivities, those types of things, but not as sensitive to autoimmune issues now in my life, right? So before I had it all. I had autoimmune and I had allergies and asthma and all that. So what I would say to you is this. I would run at least the Candida metabolic and vitamins test and see if you have Candida overgrowth and or some Clostridia overgrowth as well. So that's what I would do. And if you want to look for parasites and H. pylori, run the bacteria and parasite stool test. All of those are at stephencabral.com/shop. That takes you over to EcoLife. And that's our integrative health practice that we work with people virtually around the world. So that's how I would look at this. And then all the others I really explain, I think, on episode 3155. So you probably already listened to that, because I'm sure you're eating more than just egg whites and Brazil nuts and pineapple and almonds. You're probably eating some chicken and some fish and some veggies and some fruit. So if only those are showing up, I would actually say that that's a pretty good food sensitivity test, honestly. Like if those are the only ones showing up, I talk about that on episode 3155, that having between like 2 to 5 food sensitivities is normal. Like that's totally normal. They're not allergies, just means your body's more sensitive to these. Having 15, 20, or on the show, I talked about someone with like 27 food sensitivities. That's not normal, right? And so those people we look at specifically, we need to rebalance the gut and then heal and seal the gut. All right, so Melissa, so hopefully that's helpful. And if that didn't answer your question, please do feel free to write back in or chat with your coach about it as well. But I believe that show, which is about 25 minutes, I really go in depth, should answer your question. So thank you everybody for tuning into today's show. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.